Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolfe Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? I absolutely love making and eating pickled eggs. When I was a kid, my father made them all the time. We'd always have a jar of them sitting around. The purple, vinegary, tart, and slightly sweet eggs are simply delicious. They're also addictive and they create a lot of musical enjoyment after you eat them. They're great on their own, but they're even better with cold beer. You see jars of pickled eggs in bars and country stores sitting out on the counter, which is the same way my father stored our pickled eggs, right on the counter. And it's perfectly fine. None of us ever got sick or died from them, but I personally like to keep mine in the fridge. There's always a sense of enjoyment for me watching someone who's never had a pickled egg try one for the first time. It's like watching a little kid eat a lemon for the first time. Well, today, I'm going to be that person. But I'm obviously not trying pickled eggs for the first time. Today, I'm trying two different kinds of Chinese preserved duck eggs. The first eggs are also known as century eggs. Now these eggs are another product of China, which in this case, I don't have a problem with. They should be from China. After all, they're a Chinese delicacy. The ingredients are duck eggs, water, salt, calces, sodium carbonate, and tea leaves. The serving size is 1 egg and there's 6 per package. Per egg, there's 70 calories, 3.5 grams of total fat, 1.5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 240 milligrams of cholesterol, 420 milligrams of sodium, 3 carbohydrates, no fiber, no sugars, and 7 grams of protein. Now take a look at this. Keep refrigerated. It doesn't say to keep refrigerated after opening, just to keep them refrigerated, period. Which when I ordered them, it said nothing about requiring refrigeration. And when I received them in the mail, they weren't on ice, so they weren't being kept cold. I was really scared to try these before I got them, but now that I got them unrefrigerated, I'm terrified. But I must proceed. So let's open up the box and get into these. So I've never had or seen a duck egg, so I don't know if this is what they normally look like. Is that their normal color? They're actually pretty. They look kind of like an Easter egg. I got a slight putrid smell of sulfur and ammonia as I took the eggs out of their bags. Is that normal? Or is it because they weren't refrigerated? Inquiring minds want to know. Let's get to cracking and peel a couple of these. It peeled relatively easy. Even though I knew these eggs would be dark, almost black, the color simply concerned me. The egg itself felt a bit like jelly. Not like a firm, hard-boiled egg. I'm not sure, are these cooked first before they're preserved? Anyone know? If you know, let me know in the comments. Here's 2 of the peeled century eggs. And if they weren't food, I'd say they're pretty. But they are food. So let's cut one in half and see what's inside. And to the viewer who made the comment that if I used a plastic knife again, he would unsubscribe. So let everyone see if you're a man of your word. You simply don't disrespect the plasticine. The scientifically designed, state-of-the-art, razor-sharp knife. So here's what the inside looked like, and boy oh boy, I was at a loss for words. Once I cut them open, the sulfur and ammonia smell got much stronger, and the yolk looks soft and not very appetizing. But I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, this is what they're supposed to look like. The yolk is firm on the outside, but check this out. It's almost like pudding inside. Speaking of pudding, I was really hoping this tasted like pudding. And here's the egg white I was talking about, and the more I look at it, it reminds me of a brown beer bottle. See, you can see through it. I was starting to have real safety concerns about eating these, with the box saying to refrigerate, and they weren't. I thought about not even trying them. But that wouldn't be fair to you, the people. I must continue, and nothing will stop me, not even salmonella poisoning. So I cut off a small piece of the egg white. Then, I reluctantly popped it in my mouth. And I was surprised it didn't have a lot of flavor, just the smell of ammonia and sulfur. Sounds appetizing, doesn't it? The texture was more gelatinous than that of a hard-boiled egg. Now for the yolk, the scary part. I scooped up some of the mud-looking yolk. Then I closed my eyes, said a prayer, and popped it in my mouth and smushed it with my tongue on the roof of my mouth. The combination of the smell and texture were too much. I started dry heaving and had a decision to make. Throw up or spit it out. I did the latter and proceeded to scrub my tongue with a paper towel. I couldn't get it off my tongue fast enough. So now let's go over the salted eggs. I'll give an overall feedback for both eggs at the end. Here's the 6-pack of cooked salted duck eggs, which in the package resemble pickled eggs in color, so that might have been a promising sign. The duck eggs are preserved in only salt and water. Like I said, there's 6 eggs per pack. Per egg, there's 110 calories, 8 grams of total fat, 3 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 225 milligrams of cholesterol, 1,290 milligrams of sodium, 1 carbohydrate, no fiber, no sugars, and 8 grams of protein. These also said to keep refrigerated, but after opening, which makes me feel a little bit safer. These eggs are individually vacuum sealed in red plastic. I was wondering what color the eggs were going to be when I unwrapped them. And also, for some reason, I thought these were going to be peeled. But nope, they're hard, they still have the shells. So let's cut the wrapper off and see what we have here. Now these eggs are white and look just like chicken eggs compared to the Century eggs. I peeled a couple on paper towels for easy cleanup. These eggs were really hard to peel and were simply ripping apart. But I was surprised there wasn't much of a smell, just a slight stagnant smell. Since these eggs didn't peel so well, I tried soaking one in hot water for about 5 minutes and it didn't peel any better. I did the same thing with cold water and it didn't peel any better. And then I cracked the shell and tried it in hot water and cold water again and it didn't help. None of them peeled right without breaking up. Too bad they didn't come out as nice as the Century eggs. When I was peeling this one apart, it busted open. What the heck is going on here? Does that look gross or what? That just didn't look normal or good. I threw that one in the trash and hoped that was just a bad one. So I cut into another one and it looked exactly the same. Gross. The egg white texture was very dry and obviously brittle. The middle of the yolk kind of reminded me of homemade peanut butter, but I was pretty sure it wasn't going to taste like peanut butter. I almost stopped at this point because they did start to smell, and I was feeling real uneasy about ingesting this. But it's got to be done. I cut off a small piece of the egg white with some of the yolk juice. Then I pretended I was Andrew Zimmern. I put that small piece of egg in my mouth, moved it around a bit, squashed it with my tongue, and cringed at the combination of the texture, smell, and taste. And it was at this point my body said no, and it began the rejection phase with dry heaves that quickly led to full-fledged convulsive vomiting. I've never in my life had a food make me throw up. Dry heaves? Yes. Vomit? No. But with all of that said, it wouldn't be fair for me to score either of these Chinese delicacies, because the word delicacy can be very misleading. To some people, no matter how weird or gross the food is, delicacies are special and delicious foods. To others, they're simply disgusting. Foreign delicacies are delicious to most of the people in the country of origin, but maybe not so much to people in other countries. Like, as much as I love pickled eggs, I'd be curious to see how many Chinese people like them, which is how I came to my conclusion. These Chinese preserved duck eggs are delicious to some people, but definitely not for me. And they definitely made a decision for me too. I won't ever be trying a balut egg. If you'd like to help support the Wolfe Pit, consider being a patron. You can pledge as little as $1 a month, that's only $12 for the whole year. Or you can pledge more, that's up to you. Either way, every little bit's appreciated and helps me produce more high quality videos more often for you, the people. Thank you all very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.